Hello guys, I'm Paris, the Options Guy, and welcome to the No BS Trading Podcast. And this is episode number 3 of the podcast. And this week was an interesting week, but the next week is going to be much more interesting. We're starting off with the elections, how the elections can play out, and what can you do in these election days. And one more thing is that FIIs could be on the wrong side of the elections this time, where they've made a record high number of short positions in the index futures. So we are going to talk about all of that in today's episode. So do watch till the end, because as you know, in the end I teach you one concept in every episode which helps you become a better trader or an investor. So without any further delay, let's just start with the episode. Now, talking about what happened in the previous week, starting from Thursday, where we had the US GDP data and it came out at 1.3%. Now, if you remember last month, US GDP data came out at 1.6%, and before that, in Q4 FY24, US GDP was at 3.2%, was growing at 3.2%. So, clearly, the US economy is slowing down, because of which the GDP growth of basically of US is also slowing down. Now, this is not very great, because it points towards more signs of stagflation, which we were talking about in the previous week's episode also. And I'm going to tell you one more data point which came out in this week, which is also pointing out towards stagflation, right? After that, on Friday, we had India's GDP data for the Q4 FY24 GDP, which came out at 7.8%. Very good number, because the expectations were just at 6.7%. So definitely India is growing at a much faster pace and at a much steadier pace as compared to US, which is also going to be very good for the Indian economy, but in the long run. Now, India GDP data, which even if it comes out very good, or even if it comes out a little bad, the market does not really react to India's GDP data. And so that's why I did not mention it in the previous episode. But yes, in the long run, this is a good indication for our Indian economy. But yes, on Friday itself, we also had the US core PCE price index. Now, this PCE price index is similar to the CPI data that comes out in US. It's very similar. So, PCE price index was at 2.8%, right? And it was same as expectations. But one thing to note is that PCE price index has gone from a low, making a low of 2%, it's now at 2.8%. So that means some sort of prices are not coming down in the US economy. That means inflation is not slowing down in some sense. Now, this is one more sign which is telling us that a stagflation might be coming in the US economy. And again, we are seeing more and more signs. It is until the market realizes that we are in a stagflation, and once the market does realizes that we are going into a stagflation soon, we will see a very good correction also coming in the US markets and also in our market subsequently. So that is another thing. But on Friday, if you see, there was one more thing which was very interesting, that FIIs have made an even bigger index short position. And now, as of Friday's closing, they had 318,000 short contracts in index futures in our markets. So that is an even bigger short position as compared to 2 weeks ago, where they had 258,000 short contracts. So definitely it looks like FIIs are betting big that the election results will come out bad. But now we got the exit polls today, because I'm filming it on Saturday night. So we got the exit polls just a few hours ago, and it looks like the FIIs might be wrong on their trade. So we are definitely going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But yes, now if this is a very big mistake, if this short position that they made is a very big mistake, you will see very drastic move coming, because squaring off one of the biggest positions that you made in the last 12 years is going to be very painful for you whenever if there is a very good news in the market. So definitely it looks like FIIs are not on the right side of elections this time, because if you see in the previous elections, they were pretty much on the right side with their short positions that they had made, right? But it looks like in this election they are not on the right side. But yes, on Saturday, talking about the the exit polls that have come out today, it looks like most of the exit poll estimates are coming around 370 to 360 seats for the NDA coalition. Right now, last time NDA got 353 seats, if I'm not wrong. So it looks like there will be a little more bump or a little more shares that they will be getting, and this is a good news for the market. And these numbers are also looking pretty nice. Now, some people are also have pegged the NDA seats to come out near 400. So if we get 400, this will be a very, very big win. Please keep that in mind. 400 will be a very, very big win for the NDA government. And if that happens on the election day, you will see a very fast rally till 24,000. And I'm not even kidding, because 400 is sort of a historic, win that the NDA government will get. So if we get 400, you will also see a sort of a historic rally and a very fast rally that will come in the markets, because as I said, FIIs have made a huge short position. If they are on the wrong side, they will cover it very fast, because they will need to cover it. They will get pressurized, because if you are getting a historic win from the government, then it's something that even FIIs can't control, right? So they will need to book their losses very fast on these trades, or else they might even bleed more, right? So definitely we'll keep an eye out on Tuesday as to what the election results are coming. But one thing that I've noticed in the past 2 years is that when I looked at the data of exit polls and the actual results that came out, was that in the last 2 years, the actual results, the actual number of seats that the NDA has gotten has been a little bit higher than what exit polls have suggested. So now exit polls are suggesting 360 to 370 seats. It looks like even if we get 380 to 400, it won't really be a wild guess that you can take on the election results, because in the last 2 years, if you see again, NDA has performed a bit better than what the exit polls were suggesting. So this time also NDA could maybe go up till 380 to 400, and Mr. Modi has also said that this time they will be getting 400 seats, but I will not take his words on face value or anything. I do not take any politician's words on face values, because you know how politicians in India are, but we will not talk about that, or else this podcast might get cancelled. But yes, it looks like we might even get 380 to 400 seats. If that happens, get ready for 24,000. It is going to come very fast, and it will be a very fast move, and we might even see profit booking, a little bit of profit booking before that, but even we may again start to move up after that. But yes, that is something that we'll talk in the market analysis part on how you can trade this election market. So definitely a very good exit poll number that I can see, and I also have a few long positions. I was a bit happy, but I will not, I think this happiness might even be short-lived if the premium that I've bought doesn't even move higher, right? So again, talking about what is going to happen in the next week now. Now, talking about what can happen next week. Next week is a very eventful week, starting off with Monday, where we have the US manufacturing PMI data. Now, if the manufacturing PMI comes out below 50, that means the manufacturing activity in US is decreasing. If that happens, that means the economy can also show some signs of slowing down even more in the coming months. So keep an eye out on the manufacturing PMI data. If it comes below 50, that means we are getting more signs of the economy slowing down, which will not be good for the US markets, and our markets will also react to the US markets. That means it will not be good for our markets too. Talking about Tuesday, the general election results, the big thing in the town, and it is going to be a very volatile day. Now, you might think that the market will react a lot to general elections, the results on Tuesday, and it will be a very trending day. No, Monday will be a very trending day, because the exit polls will get discounted tomorrow on Monday, and then on Tuesday it can be a very volatile day. So keep that in mind. Do not think that Tuesday will be a very trending day and buy a call or a put with your whole account and blow it up. So don't do that. Please protect your capital, because again volatility will still be high for this week, and from next week onwards we will see a bit of a decrease in volatility. And talking about Wednesday, we have the US services PMI, which same as manufacturing data PMI, manufacturing PMI. If it comes below 50, it will give us more signs that the US economy is slowing down. And again, US markets react pretty good to the services PMI, even if they come good or even if it comes bad. So keep an eye out on services PMI. If it comes bad, we might see a little bit of correction, especially in Nasdaq. And if a correction comes in Nasdaq, then we'll see a correction in our IT stocks, which can also weaken Nifty a lot. And talking about that, after that on Friday, we have the RBI interest rate decision, which comes out on 10 a.m. during market hours, and the expectation is that RBI will not change any rates and keep them steady wherever they are. However, I want you to look out for the other measures that RBI takes regarding liquidity. If they announce any sort of a big measure regarding liquidity, either adding liquidity into the financial system or withdrawing liquidity from the financial system, it can affect bank nifty a lot, and then we can see good moves in bank nifty on the upside or on the downside, or vice versa. And so look out for any sort of measures on liquidity that the RBI announces after the interest rate decision. So they announce the interest rate decision within the first 5 minutes of sort of the live stream. So at 10 a.m. the governor starts speaking, and within 5 minutes, first of all, they announce the interest rate decision, which does nothing if if it is similar to expectations. But after that, the RBI governor starts to announce other measures that they have taken or that they are thinking about taking. And if they take any sort of measure regarding liquidity, that can, give you very big moves in bank nifty. So keep an eye out for that, because sure, you will get some moves in bank nifty on that day itself, but after that also we can get a little bit more effect on bank nifty if there is any sort of measure that the RBI takes regarding liquidity. And then in the evening, once our markets are closed, we also have some data from US, which is first of all the non-farm payroll data, which tells you how many you can say sort of jobs have been added in US or all that stuff. And then, but more importantly, we have the unemployment rate data. Now unemployment starts to creep up in US markets whenever the GDP starts to come down, or whenever the economy is slowing down. So if the economy is slowing down, unemployment rate will also start to creep up very fast. So keep an eye out, and markets definitely do react to the unemployment rate data very much. So if you cannot take any sort of positions on Friday, that would be very good. Just go empty, and then we will take, if you want to take any new positions, you can take new positions after basically in the next week and not this week. So yeah, that was it for this week. We do not have any IPOs that are coming this week, and it is pretty obvious. I mean, which company would want to launch an IPO in the election week itself, right? That would be sort of not a very great idea. So yes, no IPOs this week. Let's move on to the market analysis straight up. Now talking about the market analysis for the next week, if you see Nifty closing down 1.8%, but Bank Nifty closing up 0.3% over here, 0.03% over here. That means Bank Nifty not being so weak this week, but Nifty being very weak. So now that could mean that the short positions that the FIIs have made have been mostly in Nifty, and that's why Nifty has closed very negatively this week. Now what can we do for the next week is going to be very simple. First of all, one thing to note is that wherever Nifty moves from here, we will see a very good move, either on the upside or on the downside. We will see a very, very good trend in the coming days, and we will see a very good trending market. We will not see a sort of consolidating market like this, or a market like this which is not moving in a single direction, right? So definitely we are going to see a good momentum coming either on the upside or on the downside in both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty in the coming weeks. So from there, what can we do for this week? First of all, is going to be very simple. Now Nifty has closed negatively this week, but that does not mean that next week is also going to be negative, because next week we have an extraordinary event, and that is the election results. Now exit polls are very good over here, so chances are that we will most probably open with a very good gap up on Monday. Now if we go about 22,800, 22,800 will be the level that you need to watch out for. Above that is where we will see a very good short covering, which can easily take us to 23,000 first of all, and then higher levels also very easily. Now this week, on Monday, you will see a lot of momentum happening in the market, and on Tuesday you will see a lot of volatility coming in the market, because the exit polls, the election results, mostly we sort of have an idea via the exit polls of what the election results are going to come, right? So the market will start discounting the election results from Monday itself, and on Tuesday you will see a lot of volatility, even though the election results might be good. However, if on Tuesday we get like much better results as compared to exit polls, then on Tuesday also you will see a very good rally on the upside. But yes, most probably if the election results come in line with the exit polls, maybe 10-20 seats plus minus, that is fine. But yes, if they come in line, then not really a lot of momentum that you will see on the election day. But before that, on Monday itself, you will see a lot of momentum coming in the market. About 22,800 is where you will see a very good short covering, and on Monday itself you could see a very big candle in the market. Why do I say so? Is because as I said, the market will start discounting election results. If the election results are good, 3 to 4% move in the market is also very normal in elections. So you will see a 3 to 4% move also very fast. Maybe not on Monday itself, maybe in a span of 2 days. By the time Tuesday comes, on Tuesday itself you might see 1 or 2% more. But yes, about 22,800 is where you will see short covering. And tomorrow will be a day, on Monday will be a day where you will not see a lot of pullback in the market. Why do I say so? Is because FIs, as I said, were on the wrong side of the market, are on the wrong side of the market, possibly. Right now, I do not know what other information they have that they might be betting on, but if they were betting on that that BJP or NDA will get lot less seats than the last year, maybe 323, 310, 300 seats, then they are clearly wrong over here. If they are wrong in this scenario, then they will not wait to cover their short positions, because they will be wrong very badly. So tomorrow will be a day where we will not see a lot of pullback. So at higher levels also, you can go ahead and take a long position if you open the gap up. About 22,800, we will clearly be very bullish, and you can keep big targets from here also. But I would recommend that even if you are keeping very big targets, go book some profits in between, because it is even if then the market reverses, you at least have some profit in hand, and you have not missed all the rally or all the momentum that came in the market. Now on the downside, if we open with a gap down, let's say the market doesn't like the election results, which is not really a possibility, but still, let's say if that happens, we open with a gap down, we 22,000 to 21,800 will be the level where market might take a little bit of pullback, and then we can again start to move down. So at lower levels also, we might see a little bit of a sharp momentum on the downside, because then the clients, the retailers will be panicking and short selling, not short selling, but basically exiting their long positions. This can create a lot of panic in the market. So at lower levels also on Monday, if we open with a gap down and the market reaction is not good, we will not wait for a pullback, or not wait for a very major pullback, is what I'm trying to say. In 5-minute chart, any sort of negative price action, lower lows you see, you can go ahead and take a short position over there, and you can keep easily a target of 22,000 first of all, and then 21,800 on Monday itself. Because as I said, market will move a lot on Monday and not on Tuesday. Tuesday will be mostly a more sort of a volatile day in the market. Now for Tuesday, it is going to be volatile, because let's say mostly volatile if we go up, right? Why do I say so? Is because on Monday itself, a lot of the result that the election result has been discounted. Now on Tuesday, there will be profit booking, because a lot of people will make long positions on Monday itself. So on Tuesday, if the market just gives you the election results that everyone was expecting, then they will start to book profits. Everyone will start to book profits on their long positions, because of which in the second half, once the election, I think election results come out by 11 a.m, they are done by 11:12. After that, in the second half, you can see a very good rally on the downside, which could be a profit booking rally. Now, this could be a short-term rally that could be on the downside, so you can go ahead and take a short position in the second half of Tuesday if the election results are in line, because then there will be a very good profit booking in the market. So for Nifty, as I said, on at higher levels, about 22,800 will clearly be bullish, and if you open the gap down and sustain that gap down, then we will think about being bearish also on the market till 22,000 to 21,800. That will be a small target. And then if 2100 breaks, if market closes below 2100 on any given day, then we can easily expect 21,000 to 20,800 also. It will not be a very it will not be a target which will be very far for Nifty. Talking about Bank Nifty being pretty much very bullish. If you see, clear level of 49,500, above 49,500 is where we will be clearly bullish in Bank Nifty, and then we can easily keep a target of 50,000. But it looks like if on Monday we will have a very big momentum in Nifty, then in Bank Nifty also clearly we will have more momentum. And above 50,000, if we go above 50,000, 51,000 is also very easily achievable. Keep this in mind. 51,000 will also not take a lot of time for Bank Nifty. So above 50,000, above 49,500, we'll clearly be bullish. We'll not wait for any major pullback. In 5-minute chart, you can wait for a little bit of pullback. That is fine. But sometimes the rally can be very straight in these types of days where there is a very good news in the market. So do not wait for a major pullback in the market. A little bit of pullback, 150 points, 100 or 150 points is fine. But do not wait for a very major pullback in the market, because then you could really miss a very big rally on the upside. On the downside, which is the important level, it is 47,500. Below 47,500 is where we will see real weakness coming in Bank Nifty. If we close below 47,500 on any given day in Bank Nifty, then 45,000 is also not a very far-fetched target for Bank Nifty, and this will also come very fast, right? And if you open with a gap down, let's say if you open with a gap down on Monday in Bank Nifty, then look at Nifty. If Nifty is going below the levels that I said and that I mentioned, and if Nifty is also being pretty bearish, then you can also think about taking bearish positions in Bank Nifty with Nifty itself. So yeah guys, that was the market analysis for the next week. Do watch my market analysis videos every day, so that if there is any sort of new information or new price action that we see in the market, you can be updated about what to do in the coming days. Now let's move on to the concept that we are going to learn today. Now let's learn today what stagflation is. Now we've been talking about stagflation since the last 2-3 weeks, but we've never really understood what stagflation is. So today I'm going to tell you what stagflation is and what are the causes of it. Why does it actually happen? Now stagflation simply means an economic condition where there is high inflation but low economic growth. Now these are two very contradictory situations that are happening in the market, because usually high inflation is accompanied only when there is high economic growth, and low economic growth is accompanied by low inflation, right? But in stagflation, these two things are going the other way, right? Where inflation is going higher and higher and economic growth is slowing down, right? So now why does a stagflation occur? Now first, very simple reason is a supply side shock that can come into the economy. Let's say all of a sudden the oil prices rise very drastically. Now what this can do is that it can put a lot of pressure on the people on the manufacturers who use oil to manufacture their products. Because of this, what these guys can do is that they can start to raise the prices of their products, because of which the inflation can continue to rise. Now over here, if you see, one thing is that the economy is not benefiting from this. There is no money coming into the economy or in people's hand, so because of which they can spend, and because of which the economy can grow, right? But if you see, the inflation is rising, right? So one major reason is a supply side shock that can come into the economy because of some sort of a supply constraint that is going on, right? One example, as I said, is, let's say, a very big rise in oil prices. Another thing might be a very big rise in, let's say, natural gas prices, which a lot of people might use, right? So this is one reason for stagflation. Now, another reason which is sort of very evident in the US economy right now is a very poor monetary policy. Now, a lot of people might say that the monetary policy is very good, blah, blah, but it is not really that great in US, right? Because whenever there is a poor monetary policy, the government spending is out of hand, and a lot of times there are a very high periods of low interest rate. So that means there is a lot of free money that is going on in the in the economy, right? But what this free money can do is that it can cause a lot of inflation. And whenever there is a lot of free money in the economy, it also tends to get concentrated into the hands of a very few people. Because of this, the wage growth that a lot of lower income people get is not that great. But on the other hand, since there is a lot of money flowing in the economy, there is also a lot of inflation that can happen in the economy. So if you see, the wage growth of the common people is not that great, right? Which drive a lot of economic growth, right? But on the other hand, the inflation is going higher and higher, because of which the growth is not happening in the economy, but the inflation is going higher. Now, other example is that, let's say, a company, the taxes on companies the government increases taxes on companies, right? Now over here, if you see, the taxes are increasing on the companies, so they have a higher cost burden that they have to bear. So what they'll naturally do is that they will increase the price of their products. Now over here, if you see, the people are not getting more money to spend, but they are getting higher inflation, right? Because of which it is harder for them to buy products or buy any sort of goods that they want to, right? So now they will buy less, because of which the economic growth will suffer. But on the other hand, the inflation is still continuing to grow higher, because the manufacturers are increasing the price of their products. So hopefully you guys understood over here what exactly stagflation is. So yeah guys, that was it for today for this episode, and thank you for watching till the end. I really appreciate your support. Do let me know if there is anything that I can improve in this podcast. And yes, I know there are still a bit of rough edges in this podcast, but that will definitely get better over time. But yes, if you have any sort of recommendation, let me know in the comments, or if you want to message me on Instagram, that is also fine. You can also message me on Instagram and tell me. But yeah, that was it for this episode. I hope you guys learned something interesting from this episode, or learned something useful from this episode. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode on the next weekend. And for now, bye bye.